I paid everybody for that, sorry. Thank you, everyone who made that little movie, and thank you, Jack, for your friendship, those remarks, and thank you, CNN team, for giving me my first starring movie role. I literally cannot count, and that's actually true, the number of times I've sat in this audience at this event and marveled at the accomplishments of those who are being honored, much like I am tonight with my fellow honorees. So when Barbara Cochran called and told me I'd be honored with the First Amendment Award for Service, I have to admit I was more than a little surprised. Barbara, I was sure that you and the board had run out of deserving journalists. But I'm most thankful to you and to the board for the honor. With that said, in preparation for tonight, I reflected on what we, and by we I mean CNN News Source and our affiliates, have accomplished together over the last 28 years. Along with the work of my colleagues and dear friends like Jack, who I get to thank like 3 times in this speech, so thank you, Jack, and my mentor, Fred Burrows, who, as Jack said, I wish was here with us and who I miss each and every day. And along with so many of you in the audience tonight, and I get to do the shout out to the Hearst table, it's table number 15, so thank you guys for being here. And Hagerstown, Maryland, who I don't know where you are, but I know you're back there. We built something more valuable than we ever could have imagined. Deep, trusted, resilient relationships with the best and most extensive group of local news stations in the country. So I'd like to take just a minute to reflect on how we got here. In the early days of CNN, Ted Turner and then CNN President Burt Reinhardt thought it made sense to create an informal news exchange with local TV stations. Burt still had some great general manager relationships from his Fox Movietone News days. Who knew why a local station back then would take the chance to work with a fledgling cable news network? Our first affiliates were KRON, WCVB, WSB, WFAA, WCCO, and WTVJ. They literally printed out CNN's actual program rundown and recorded CNN in their newsrooms. The first scheduled feed service began in 1984. It was followed by a dedicated sales team, which focused solely on News Source, and the start of the live edition, which was actually coordinated by tonight's chair, Sissy Baker. That's way back. The late 80s saw an aggressive expansion under the leadership of John Petrovich and Fred and Jack. So by the time I got back to CNN in 1994, the local TV landscape had undergone dramatic changes. There was a 4th broadcast network. Group broadcasters were investing in and expanding the amount of local news programming. And CNN had come into its own via the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, the fall of communism, and the first Gulf War in 1991. There was an emphasis on and an appetite for high impact and global news stories for local audiences. Due to CNN's remarkable global access to breaking news, News Source was seen as a complementary partner to local news, and our partnerships truly blossomed. From our news exchange beginnings, CNN has singularly focused on value and service. At our core is reciprocity, and if we're covering a story, we provide our stations with access to that coverage. While CNN is no stranger to good journalism, I'm equally impressed by the talent, dedication, and focus of our affiliates on television, on radio, and online. Our partnership with our stations made CNN News Source and CNN Radio and CNN.com who we are today, and your encouragement incentivizes us to continue to create new businesses. Tonight's First Amendment Award for Service recognizes both CNN and our over 850 station partners for the unique value we've created together for both television and digital journalism. What we've accomplished at CNN simply would not have been possible without those most extraordinary partnerships. Thank you all very much.